morning, family. This is your host, Ray Collazo, and you're watching or listening to the Founding Translation Talk Show, the talk show that stacks truth, politics, and today's hottest issues. Thank you again so much for joining us. Again, this is your host, Ray Collazo. Founding Translation is, you're either watching this as a live show, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube Live, as a podcast, my ride or dies, my audio files. Anyway, you can download a podcast or as a radio program in Philadelphia, WPPMLP 106.5 in Philadelphia. Hashtag People Powered Media. Thank you so much for joining us. You know, I really appreciate y'all. First of all, your paciencia with me, because normally we do shows right after debates. We do shows, you know, MSNBC style, late at night after, you know, to watch primary results. You know, like many of you, I've needed a couple days. I've needed a couple days to get myself together because of the coronavirus and all of the changes and really fundamental changes to our lifestyle as Americans that we're all dealing with. We got people working from home. We got children doing, you know, so all of us, like many of you out there, I'm not only making career adjustments, family adjustments, part-time teaching, elementary school, and really just trying to prepare for something that's unprecedented, at least as an American living in the mainland United States. That for most of us, we've never dealt with anything like this. What I wanted to do on the show today, and again, for those watching live, thank you so much, my morning people. I know y'all ain't driving to work, so you're sitting there tomando su cafecito, saying, oh, mira, Ray's up there. Let me see what he has to say. Really appreciate the conversation. We want, first of all, just a few words about this whole situation, which I think I just want to get a few things out there for us to think about. Real quick on the politics, which obviously at this point, electoral politics really is secondary, if that. But a few words about how sort of where I think we kind of go from here, and just a bit of a preview and actually a call to you all to get some feedback around what you want to see on our primary show on Thursday nights. We normally do our main show Thursday evenings, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Obviously, the main focus is going to be this whole health situation. And so just we encourage people to give us feedback about what you want to see us talk about on Thursday evening show. And if you want to be part of that conversation, if you're a health professional, health policy expert, or just someone that's dealing with this sort of from a crisis management, emergency management perspective, we're more than happy to have your voice a part of the Thursday conversation. Again, this is your host, Ray Collazo, Founding Translation, your morning cafecito with Ray. And again, I've had to get myself together, people. There's a lot going on. Really quickly, look, I don't got to tell you what's going on. This is COVID-19, coronavirus. This pandemic, this global pandemic is unprecedented in our lifetimes. I guess, 1918, the flu. But I think the main thing I wanted to share with you all, if you get none out of this conversation, is this serious business? And is it serious business because we're all going to die? No. Is it serious business because the bulk of people, or even a large percentage of people, or a large fraction of people, or even a statistical, highly significant factor of people are going to die from this? Probably not. But why? There's two reasons why this is so, well, three reasons why this is so critically important that we all have to pitch in here to do everything we can to minimize the pain, and not only the pain, the physical pain, the health pain, but also the pain to our way of life economically and socially in this country, is that, first of all, some people will die. Some people have already died. And we obviously want to minimize deaths, right? But just kind of more broadly speaking, if we all don't do everything we can to minimize the spread right now and for the foreseeable future, it is going to put a tremendous strain on our health system that has a major impact on the people that contract the virus, which we don't have a cure for right now. And we're not going to have a cure for a year and a half, let's be honest about it. And Fauci, the only person I listen to on TV in the federal government at this point, Tony Fauci, the head of our disease control, is being straight up about that. This is a year and a half process, right? So I trust him. You know what's going on. So we have to minimize the amount of people and the spikes and when people get it, because it's going to put a strain on our health system we don't have the capacity for. Let's be honest about that. The healthcare system has enough beds for what they need day to day. There's not all these extra health professionals and all these extra beds and all these extra ventilators and all these extra masks and all these extra supports And you guys remember this, and this is the part I think that's kind of getting underplayed, is that the rest of us that have all other issues, that still happens. That person's kidney problem that's, doesn't stop because of the coronavirus. So all of the rest of us don't need an overrun health system, because that's going to put a strain on people that could relatively be taken care of in a normal scenario with a virus on the level of corona. The people that are going to get complications, particularly are elderly and people with pre-existing conditions. Or just the people that, in a normal, but that are going to get less care, and our care is going to suffer across the board. And that's going to make a major impact. Also, we have to be cognizant. I'm going to focus on this quite a bit on Thursday's show, on our healthcare professionals and the people that work in our healthcare system. We have to keep them healthy. We have to keep them sane. There's only so much they're going to be able to do for us if there's a strain on the system. This is yours, Ray Collazo, the Found Translation Talk Show. As part of that, there's been a meme, and I can't repeat it here because we do this on the radio. F, go home, stay the F home. Y'all need to stay home. Because, this answer of this practice run of, well, I'm not sick, it's no big deal. Y'all need to stay home, because healthy people can carry it over to people that aren't so healthy. And we have to do everything we can to minimize the spread of this whole situation. The problem, of course, you're going to say, well, on TV, there's not that many people that are sick. I see the numbers. They don't seem like big numbers in a country with 330 million people. The problem is we haven't gotten tested, broadly speaking. We don't know. And that is the issue. We don't know. And that's the core problem, because I can't sit here, no medical professional. There's nobody in America can really tell you a full extent of the spread of this virus at this point, because we don't know. Because we haven't had the kind of testing that by rights we should have had a fair amount of by now, and that Korea's already had, and other countries there's no reason why we shouldn't have much more testing, and we know the negligence that led to that. So in light of that, my friends, I need y'all to understand something, that it doesn't matter that we're the wealthiest country in the world. Doesn't matter if you're healthy, your network is relatively healthy. This can spread in a very serious way. And so we need to all do what we can personally to minimize the spread. And so we also know that this could take a bad turn, because people that follow and have been engaged in what's happened on the island of Puerto Rico, that still has people, by the way, that are homeless from the earthquakes from the last several months, homeless from the hurricanes from over 2 years ago. Still parts of the island don't have all their utilities. We know how American citizens, if there's real neglect, can get treated. And so now we're starting to get a little taste here on the mainland of how neglect and lack of care and real bad mismanagement can impact all of our lives. For us privileged people that live in this country, and most of us live very privileged lives relatively to the world, you're starting to get a taste of it. And I'm sorry, if just staying in your house and staying off the street and taking these basic precautions is a small sacrifice for you, get used to it, because it's only going to get worse. This show's Ray Collazo, Found in Translation. As it relates to the politics, look, at the end of the day, most of us can take care of ourselves. It's a reality. At the end of the day, there are many things that you need a federal government to do or a president to do, but at the end of the day, the main thing you have them to do is to protect our country, fundamentally, whether it's from foreign enemies or it's from natural disasters or situations like we have here. So anyone that says, or any sort of messaging, it's like, well, it's the governor's issue or local issues. Yes, of course, they play a role in this. And they actually, for the most part, on both sides of the aisle, have stepped it up across the board. Mayors, governors, Democrats, Republicans, from what I can see, are doing the best they can with the situation. But leadership on the top level with these kind of national situations matters. We can't have piecemeal solutions. We can't have local solutions. This has to be a national movement. And obviously, there were many mistakes done on the front end of this for many reasons, almost all of which bad management and political expediency. But at the end of the day, we have to continue to call on our leadership to do the right thing. And it goes beyond the president. While we were literally dealing the House of Representatives, even Steve Mnuchin, the biggest sleazeball in this government, one of the top sleazeballs in America, head of our Treasury Department, who just very quietly, with not a lot of headlines, shifted over $1 trillion to Wall Street to keep their liquidity. You haven't gotten your check yet, but they already got their trillion, by the way. And then they just get a $1 trillion tax cut 2 years ago. It's funny how that works. Funny how there's money, all kind of money for the rich. You ever notice how this works? That being said, I got to give him credit. The guy's been working hard. At least he's working hard. At least he's trying to do something. Negotiating with House member Speaker Pelosi all last week to try to put a package together to try to mitigate some of this harm for the newly unemployed, for people that need healthcare access. And so what was the Senate doing when these negotiations were happening? McConnell went on break. The Senate didn't do anything all weekend. It's Wednesday. There still isn't a Senate bill passed. We still haven't gotten the first package done. 4, 5, 6 days have gone by, people. They're more worried about quarantining themselves and taking paid sick days, which they won't vote for in the Senate, these sticking Republicans, for themselves, and going on vacation this weekend or political campaigning, whatever they were doing, than actually going to work, staying a little extra at work. So our newly unemployed and our people that don't have health care access, or God forbid, do whatever they could to get these tests out there. So I want y'all to think about that. Can you imagine if you were a boss at your business or you were the leader of whatever entity it is, and you had people literally that were going to go get unemployed and literally needed to get tested, see if they had this virus that has no cure at this point, no vaccine, and you went home for the weekend? As it relates to the politics, Sunday, I chatted about it on Facebook. There was a lot of spirited discussion about the debate Sunday night. The whole thing was just odd. I was actually supposed to be there, fam, in Arizona. Oh, that got canceled. A lot of discussion. I had put some comments out. I thought it was interesting. Bernie kind of rope-a-doped them, I thought, in the beginning, in that he said, he basically made it very clear publicly, I'm going to play it nice. But then when Biden didn't come real strong in the very beginning, Bernie couldn't help himself. The guy waited for this his whole life to get a shot on his national platform to take on, one of the faces of the Democratic establishment the last 40 years, Joe Biden, Vice President Biden. And of course, he gets his shot when it's basically already over and this global pandemic's taking place. So whatever they say, instead of take it with a grain of salt. The bottom line is it's over. It's over. I said it last week. Nothing that happened yesterday in Florida, Illinois, and Arizona just put the stake in the last nail in the coffin. And I think Bernie knows. God bless him, but he knows. It's time to, for all his faults, for the fact that Biden did very little in reality, to win this nomination over the last year and a half. The whole thing was mediocre from top to bottom. I think even said he was fine. I think this is actually kind of, this is his strong suit, these kind of moments, because he's empathetic, he's relatable. He understands the importance of government. He obviously believes the importance of the federal government. He understands the levers of government, how in terms of Congress, the administration, the departments, how all of the pieces fit together. So this pandemic speaks to the fact of, sort of plays off his strengths, his experience. Look, his gravitas. The guy's always had it in that sense. But, he's just sort of struggled in sort of this new democratic framework where it's about policy and healthcare and ideology, and social media and young people. And, but at the end of the day, there's still more Biden type people in our party. And it is what it is. I could sit here and whine about it, but the reality is the voters have spoken. And I think we have to, I call on Senator Sanders to, I would end my candidacy as soon as possible, because I don't even know there's going to be more debates. I don't even know can be more elections. It was a tough judgment call I don't blame any of the states for doing how they handled it. You want to have a democracy, but the health. So what Ohio did, I can't really fault them. How Arizona, Florida, and Illinois, particularly Florida and Arizona, because they have a lot of early vote by mail options and they have the culture of that, I don't fault them. Seems like the turnout on election day in Illinois was certainly lower than expected. Understandable. But I think, I call on Sanders I think at this point, I think the voters have spoken. I think that we have many months to still push the agenda. We've already seen the fruits of that. Hey, look, the Republicans are calling on Yank stuff. I mean, we're pushing the envelope here, people. We're getting progress done. I know for our youngins, it's disheartening, but trust me, things are moving on in the right direction. No question about it. And at the end of the day, we knew always Senator Sanders, God love him, was not the perfect vessel for this. I mean, I thought about it the other day. If Ro Khanna had been the candidate, just thinking about the way he comes off and his measuredness and, just Senator Sanders at the end of the day just wasn't quite strong a political figure and a political athlete, if that makes sense, to pull this off. It would have been hard enough to pull off, but look how far he came. God bless him. And now we've got Vice President Biden. So we're going to have to continue to push the envelope. We're going to have to continue to advocate right now, fam. Call your Senate offices in particular. Call on these people because they're going to give away all kind of money. You you people that, you're the one in the couple that is real good with the checkbook and counting all the pennies. First of all, nobody be counting pennies for almost 20 years at this point in Washington. Democrats or Republicans. None of these people counting pennies. They're throwing out money out the window. Okay? So at this point, the point is the people that really need it, those hourly workers, the people that are getting laid off this week, the gig economy workers, the people that are on the fringe of our society, the people that are incarcerated that need to be tested, the people that are undocumented that are being incarcerated on our southern border, particularly our children, need to be protected health-wise. Those people that are living on the fringe of society, people who don't have health care or limited health care that need a test, that are feeling sick. I had a friend, I don't want to call her out. Well, she's been public, Erica Almiron, celebrated activist in Philadelphia. This woman has health care. This woman's a professional. Woman has resources. Took her almost 10 days to get a test. She's sick. She hasn't been feeling well. So the mortgages, that payments have to be frozen, utility payments have to be frozen. You want that kind of stuff? You want that check that Romney's talking about, my man Yankman talking about, and Democrats are talking about now, and some Republicans talking about now? You'll need to call your senators. I don't care if the Democrats or Republicans. Tell them to get it together because the House and even the administration is coming up with some policies. We can debate it, but at least they're trying. But these senators got to get it together and and push them to not just give away all the money to the corporate people that they already started to do. I love cruises, but we don't need to give the cruise industry $1 trillion right now. They can go into bankruptcy. We can figure out a way to compensate their employees. That money's got to get out to the people. Write them a check, waive healthcare costs, make unemployment 100% of your old pay. Those are the kind of things we need to do. Expand food stamps. Can we get the tests out here? Can people get tested? That's what I'd like to see. These are the kind of things that all of us have to step up and call on our federal government, to these Senate offices. Call your senators. Again, I don't care if they're Democrats or Republicans. Call them. Say they have to pass something. It's Wednesday already. This is ridiculous. The House and Mnuchin had a deal cut Friday. It's Wednesday. And there's many deals that have to be cut. Again, call on your senators, call on your members of Congress and the administration to pass legislation that's going to get money in your pocket. Not Wall Street, not the airline industry, not the hotel industry. They have ways, they'll be okay. Let's take care of the workers that work at those places with 100% unemployment benefits and all the things that we've laid out, these obvious things. God forbid people have health care. It's really interesting. My final comment to you people. And so many of y'all love to talk about, Bernie, socialism. I never vote for a socialist. He's too liberal. He's going to waste all our money. First of all, y'all got a tweet. I don't know if y'all, newsflash people, you got a $20 trillion debt. So y'all got all kind of issues there. And then y'all made a big stink about it before, or many of you have made a stink about it before. Let's keep it real. And by the way, the Republicans, they've been the biggest spenders of all time between the last Bush and Trump. And I don't see all y'all, anyway. But the bottom line is, now that the middle class is in need, and quite frankly, white middle class people are going to be suffering, Now there's all kind of socialism for everybody. Now they're going to write checks. It's interesting. The senator from Utah is the first one to say it. Is that interesting? The Republican senator from Utah is the first one to say, let's just write everybody a check. Who does he represent? I'm just keeping it real with y'all. Now, of course, all of us could benefit from that, including people like me, a minority who's middle class. But the reality is they ain't writing that check because of me. Or they're not discussing writing these checks because of me. Because now the impact is much broader. Very interesting. So when it happens in Puerto Rico, by the way, all American citizens, people that work, oh my God, I got all my cousins grow up on the island, are people in the military, government workers, healthcare professionals, people that tax professionals, my wife's family, tax professionals, accountants, lawyers, doctors, all kind of people. Some are elderly, some are poor, but hey, all Americans are all like everybody else across the spectrum. Hurricane, people homeless. Now this impacts all of us here. A little more of the up. And by the way, they ain't doing this because of the poor people here. Let's keep it real. They're doing it now because it's impacting all strata of society. KD got the coronavirus, fam. Tom Hanks got it. It's very interesting how that works. Let's support our healthcare workers in our lives, our first responders, our police officers. I can't believe that crap in Philadelphia. They're not going to arrest people. Did you hear about this? They're not going to arrest drug dealers anymore in Philadelphia. Let's support our first responders, our people in law enforcement, the people that are going to keep cleaning. I had a very good conversation with a woman at Target, a Spanish-speaking woman, I presume an immigrant, but I don't know, who was cleaning the bathrooms at Target the other day, and I was asking her, are they providing her the materials so she could be safe? And what were they providing her to make us safe? And she was saying how the things she was focused on in terms of knobs and things you have to touch, and she was paying particular attention to those details. Those are heroes too. That nurse that's going to go to work every day, not knowing what to expect, that's a hero. The people that are home, the caregivers for our elderly family, heroes. Those first responders that are still having to go to work every day, heroes. Those elderly that take care of the kids, their grandkids, while the middle generation goes to work. Putting themselves on the line. A lot of heroes out here, fam. So let's honor all the heroes in our lives. Let's support them. Let's support each other. And please, por favor, stay out of the streets, fam. We need to stay ourselves distant. We're going to use these tools to keep in touch with each other. Thank you so much for joining the Found Translation Talk Show. Enjoy your Wednesday. Stay safe. Take care of your family. And we'll have a full show on Thursday night to really delve into the coronavirus and how we can support each other during this incredible pandemic. Have a great day, fam.